The new Brawl Stars meta has been insane and super crazy hypercharge dependent with meta shaking brawlers. With that being said, there has been brawlers who have risen in this ranked meta and has been at the top for some long time. So these are the brawlers you definitely want to be upgraded and maxing out and playing to get the most success out of ranked. And as you can see, some of them are probably banned a lot of times, but once you could get at least one of these brawlers on your team, your win rate grows up a lot percentage wise. Starting off at number 11 as our honorable mention here, we're gonna have Chester on the list here. Now Chester is just an anti-tank brawler, and there's a lot of tanks, there's a lot of aggro brawlers that are super high on this list. So Chester is naturally, as one of the best anti-tanks and damage dealers inside the game, his play rate is going to be a lot up, and his success rate when playing against these aggro comps will be at a high level. He's not the Chester used to be because his hypercharge has been nerfed to where you don't get it as frequently, but playing against those tanks, playing against those aggros, you can definitely still find a lot of success, and he's still one of the upper echelon anti-tanks inside the game. Starting our list off at number 10, now Jay Young as an insane support brawler, being able to heal and speed up his teammates and himself. There's a lot of aggro brawlers, there's a lot of tank brawlers that are super good with this meta or have super great hypercharges or supers that change the game, and Jay Young could just boost that and make it as if they're just top brawlers. And sometimes with the right comp, there's absolutely nothing you could do simply because of Jay Young's consistent healing and speeding up. It's just too much aggro, too much health for you to deal with, and that's what makes him very strong as a support brawler in this meta. Coming in at number 9, we have Bull. Because of his recent rework, now he's been played a lot and he's been much better when it comes to just being more versatile, being a brawler that is good into certain aggro picks, maybe like into a Mortis, maybe into a Kenji, maybe into a Lily spawning on top of you. Those kind of aggro brawlers, Bull does greatly damage, like close range damage. He does great, and allowing him to just use a super and to stun, it just creates a lot of goal scoring ability inside of Brawl Ball, a lot of kill abilities inside of Gem Grab. That makes him a strong brawler in my opinion. He definitely needs to be making sure you drafting around him good because he does have his counters. But with that being said, Bull is undeniably better, and his rework has made him one of the good brawlers inside this meta. Coming in at number 8, we have Lumi. Now Lumi has recently got a range decrease, so basically her range is not as long as it used to be, but then they slapped on a hypercharge, which is really insane. So any brawler who gets a hypercharge is automatically going to be better. So with that being said, Lumi is not number 2, not top 5 anymore, but coming in at her number 8 spot is no shrug at either. You know, she's very strong, she's very versatile, her range is not as long, so brawlers like Gus, brawlers like Bell could outrange her, brawlers like Janet now could outrange her and just make her non-playable in certain scenarios. But when you have aggros or tanks that maybe can't get onto you as quickly, Lumi with her infinite ammo could just draw the match, and then with her super hypercharge super, she could stun, stop players from moving, and then pick up nice easy kills on them. So Lumi's still going to be versatile, still going to be a good brawler, especially in ranked, because draft, you know, you ban out some of the most broken brawlers, then you have good brawlers like Lumi who fall into play that you can pick up. So it's still going to be a very much one of the most used brawlers inside ranked. At number 7, we have Doug. Now with a rework, a hypercharge, and 3 reworks and a hypercharge, he's bound to be strong. He's bound. No person, no brawler is gonna get 3 reworks and a hypercharge and not be meta, especially being a tank brawler, tank / support brawler. Now he paired up with a lot of good aggros or a lot of good tank brawlers, like maybe like a Hank or maybe like a Kenji, like brawlers where he could pair it up with, heal them, throw his super on top of them, survive and just gain 10,000 HP just because they died and came back to life with the hot dog super. It creates so much foolishness where you can't kill him. He's basically unkillable in some scenarios. Also in some scenarios though, you can find ways to counter him if you don't draft right around the Doug, or if you first pick Doug, he can be countered. But on certain maps, you just don't want to face a Doug, period. Like certain maps, he's just, if he gets him, even if it's a first pick, he's just going to be a menace. He can at any moment get a cycle, 2 cycles of supers, and then it just creates a lot of stuff that you cannot handle with. And paired up with synergizing with a lot of other aggressive or good brawlers, it's too much to handle. That's why he's so strong in this meta. Coming at number 6, we have Griff. Now when there's brawlers like Doug, a brawl like Griff is going to come into play. Also, he also has a really strong hypercharge, and he also has a really strong gadget, which allows him to break open the walls to take down these brawlers, these short range aggressive brawlers, short range tank brawlers like Doug or like Kenji or like Lily or like Ali, you know? So brawlers like that, Griff does really good into, and they're the meta right now, so of course Griff is going to fall into the meta. He's still underrated, in my opinion. It's kind of crazy how underrated such a good brawler can be, but definitely you see him in pro play a lot anytime there's any types of aggro comps around there. A brawler like Griff is either going to be banned out because they want to play aggro, or you're going to have to pick them to counter the super aggressive aggro, and he completely shuts it down, and in my opinion, he is now a better anti-tank than Chester. Coming into our top 5, we have Bonnie with her versatility. She's still not banned out as much as the other broken brawlers on this list, so her play rate should be through the roof, and you should be playing her and finding a lot of success in a lot of modes like heist and in knockout, and even sometimes in jump grab around in the right scenarios. You could just be assassin slash long range slash decent health slash, you know, just a lot of stuff she can do, and she has a right kit, and just she's always going to be a really strong brawler, I presume, as long as they don't nerf her or do anything with her. I don't think she will get nerfed, but I think once she doesn't get nerfed, she's going to be just one of those consistent brawlers. You know, we just put her in like with brawlers like Jean, brawlers like Belle, will always be able to have some kind of usage now. At number 4, we have Shade. Now, Shade is now scary. He's very scary because he can now pop a hypercharge and deal 8,000 damage in 2 shots, 12,000 damage in 3 shots, and that's killing every person in the flipping video game. So that makes him an ultimate assassin, and in the right environment, or if you don't have a wall breaker in specific matchups, he's just going to terrorize you guys. He's going to be an absolute menace in Brawl Ball and Gem Grab, sneaking up, getting kills on squishier opponents, and even getting kills on tankier opponents. A brawl like Shade with a hypercharge is just very scary. You know, he was underrated without the hypercharge. You see him, pro players like Sai Tempo, you get great usage out of him. Now with the hypercharge, he's just like someone that you need to ban him out, especially going up against a map on like Triple Dribble or Sneaky Fields or Harder of Mine, maps like that where there's a lot of walls, a lot of maybe some unbreakable walls into play. He's gonna get like a lot of value from it. His win rate is going to be super high. Coming at number 3, we have Ali the Alligator. Now this brawler is very confusing to me because she's an assassin type brawler who could essentially assassinate any brawler in the game. Use the right play, the right even skill capped around. She could assassinate pretty much any brawler inside the game. She actually does really good into tank brawlers, which is actually insane. Have you seen an Ali versus a Frank? It's actually bad. I like help the Frank. Ali deals insane amount of damage, and her versatility and her aggressiveness just makes her very, very hard to draft around, because if you pick up an Ali and you have a sniper brawler on your team, or your version of sniper brawler, I should say, that Ali, if she has decent wiggles, if she has decent mechanics, she's going to get on top of the sniper. A lot of snipers don't have abilities where they could counter aggros, so it's very rough to deal with an Ali, especially if you're drafting and out of nowhere, an Ali pickup is there and you got a squishy brawler. Even if you have a tank brawler, a specific tank brawler who's bad into her, it gets a lot hectic. So a brawl like Ali just creates a lot to deal with, and one of the top brawlers inside the game here, and a very scary brawler to face up against. And it almost seems like the person is cheating when you play Ali and there's nothing you can do. Coming at number 2, I'm feeling like we're forgetting about Hank the Tank. You know, Hank the Shrimp Man. You know, he still does 4K a shot. He still have one of the most HPs inside the game, and you still have brawlers like Doug, Jay Young, Byron, Gus, who could support him, who could boost him to a next level. And especially in ranked, people are forgetting to ban him out. So now we're getting free Hank plays and free 4Ks to the forehead, and people are dying because of it, and they're getting free wins essentially because of it. He's still going to be a strong brawler. Yes, he has the counters. You just have to know how to draft around him. Find ways to pick him up. Find ways in certain maps, modes that he's going to be very good in, and he's going to give you a lot of success. Coming straight to our number 1 brawler with an insane hypercharge, an insane way to get the hypercharge. We have Draco. He's a tank with the tank trait. He already gets his super pretty quickly, and then he could cycle it very quickly because he has a gadget where he cheats death for a couple seconds, so he gets to tank even more damage. So it's essentially free hypercharge. His hypercharge just buffs him through the roof, longer range, more damage, more speed, more protectiveness. There's a lot of stuff you can't do anything about it. He just run you down, and then he could just cycle, get his super again, heal 2,700 damage. 2,700 health, and then do it all over again. And then there's a lot of brawlers that can't even deal with it. Even some of the best anti-tanks can't even deal with it. And then we're not even talking about him being supported by any kind of support brawler or any kind of help from teammates inside of like modes like Brawl Ball, inside of modes like Hot Zone. That's just creating so much pressure that you're already doing the objective of the match and you're just playing a brawler. So it's super strong to have a brawler like Draco on your team. A lot of times he is banned out though, but in the lower ranks you can just pick him up, play some carry stars, and bring yourself to legendary, legendary 2, even masters with just picking up Draco a lot of the times. With that being said, it's your boy Joe Sam. We're out of here.